second. Right. Right. Hey, Akim, Shalom. To you, Akim, out there, first and foremost, we got to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone. Salute to you, sincere Akim out there of the hopeful elect. All right. And we going through prophecy right now, man, as we speak in real time. Okay. Very little know it because the Lord is only dealing with his elect few. Okay. But, you know, you believers out there, you brothers who believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, you faithful brothers out there, you know what time it is already, man. Okay? All right? Because we go according to the scriptures, to the word of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. Screw the mainstream media. All right? Screw the scoffers out there that just want to talk crap all day and, you know, debate, go back and forth. Okay? We're in the time of prophecy, man. You know, meanwhile, while Jake want to go back and forth with us and scoff and talk shit and wish us harm, okay? Hey, the Lord is about to totally annihilate America, man. All right? And that's how we on it, man. We out here, the Lord sent us out here as apostles to go out here and condemn this place because the word apostle means sent out. The Lord sent us out to do what? To condemn America, man. All right? Condemn the so-called white man, the heathen nations, and as well as 2/3 of you wicked, low-life niggas who ain't gonna never wake up, man, to your true nationality, to who you are, okay? So you got a lot of stuff going on in the news, man, all right? And America's gonna go out by way of what? Thermonuclear destruction in the Third World War, in which all of that is being alluded to right now. If you understand geopolitics and you understand what's going on in the news, and most importantly, if you understand the prophecies found written in the scriptures, okay? So the brother's going to read, starting off with the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 1.
Yep.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Okay. And that beast that stood up, that rose up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, represents what? It represents the EU nations, and it represents NATO, okay? Which is a revival of the Roman Empire. Okay, that's what it represents. All right, go ahead.
It says, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
Yeah. And upon his heads the name of blasphemy, which these are all Edomite nations, so you can understand, all European nations. All right. The 10 horns, which represents the EU. Okay. The 7 heads, which represents 7 countries in Europe. All right. And as a conglomerate, they represent NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which includes America and includes Canada, okay? Which are all the West, which you would see in the news today as known as the West, okay? The Western forces, all right? Go ahead.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear.
That's right. So it started off with the leopard, which the leopard represents what? The Greek Empire. Okay, when you read Daniel the 7th chapter, it talks about Alexander the Greek's empire, in which when Alexander the Greek, when he came into power, he was crowned with the head of a leopard. Okay, which represents the beginning of so-called white society. The nation of Edom coming into power, okay? And the feet representing the bear represents the end of white society, which is the Russians. That's why you see NATO and the EU, which includes America, advancing east towards Russia, okay? Advancing towards Eastern Europe. You see the Western forces advancing towards Eastern Europe, towards the borderline of Russia. That's why you have this crisis going on in Ukraine, okay? All right, when you understand geopolitics, you'll see how it ties in with the scriptures. All right, go ahead.
It says, and his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Yep. Which the feet represents the end of an empire. Okay? Which that bear represents Russia, but as a whole, they make up the nation of Edom. America, right? NATO, Russia, they're all Edomites at the end of the day. Okay? So it's not like, you know, the bear is going to conquer America, which are Edomites. Okay, like the Lord said, Satan cast out Satan, how shall his kingdom stand? You got to understand nationality, first and foremost. The Russians are Edomites. Vladimir Putin is an Edomite. Okay? Just like Joe Biden is an Edomite. Just like that fucking bugged out prime minister in England, Boris Johnson, he's a goddamn Edomite, man. Okay? They're all Edomites at the end of the day. So they're going to cast out each other. They're going to destroy each other. All right? So when you see the West or NATO antagonizing Russia to engage in a war, that's like the saying poking the sleeping bear. All right? But that bear is wide awoke, man. All right? And that's why we're heading into a third world war, which is going to be a thermonuclear war. See, a couple of years ago, 13, 15 years ago, further back before the internet, when the apostles and the elders was out there teaching on Times Square and 34th Street, you people was looking at them like they was bugged out when they said it's going to be a thermonuclear war. But now, if you turn on mainstream media on the news, that's all they're talking about is a potential nuclear war. Okay? So we don't sound crazy any fucking more, man. All right, but a lot of you people just entertain anyway. You don't pay attention to the news and geopolitics and things like that, man. You know, you just watching sports and entertainment videos and stupid shit, man. Okay, you're not concerned with what's going on in the news, man. Alternative news for that matter. But even in the mainstream media, in the mainstream news, they're alluding to nuclear war. All right. And we've been talking about that decades ago. When you people looked at us like we was a bunch of assholes, man.
Precept.
Okay? You got a precept?
Yeah. Back
Yep.
to what you just said.
Go ahead.
This is Luke chapter 21, verse 15. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist.
Come, that's right, man. That's the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. That's the Lord that's speaking through us, man. That's his spirit, man. That's prophesying through us. Okay? Because he the one who gave us the knowledge and the wisdom to understand his word and to understand what's going on or what's taking place in this world right now in present day time and what's going to happen in the future. All right? Okay? And you people can't deny it now, man. You know? You people can't deny that what we're saying through the spirit of our breakdowns through the scriptures is not the truth. All right? Here, especially here at Great Millstone, because we're the only Israelites that deal solely with prophecy, man. I'm not going to say solely with prophecy because we deal with the whole book, but we're renowned for being the prophets. All right? Other Israelite groups don't do that, man. Why? Because the Lord ain't dealing with them on that level, because they're not men of the Lord at the end of the day. All right? Finish off in Revelation 13. Yep.
Yeah, Revelation 13, verse 2, it says, And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, yep. That's right. Going piggybacking, it goes back into the beginning of the so-called white man's empire, which started with the Greeks. That's what the leopard represents. Alexander the Creep. Okay? All right, and his feet being the bear, meaning the end of white society is gonna end with the Russians attacking America. All right, because that's the bear. That's the symbol for the Russians. Right, that's the renowned symbol for Russia is the bear, the grizzly bear, or the Kodak bear, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Excuse my French. Go ahead.
Right. And his mouth as the mouth of a lion.
Yep. In his mouth as the mouth of a lion, which represents Great Britain, all right? Or the UK or England, all right? When you look at the coat of arms of England it has the lion, which because the lion represents a king, which represents monarchy. Anytime, especially in Hollywood, anything you see in movies and shit, even though there's a prime minister, you got the Queen of England, but anything that represents to a king, a monarchy, it usually deals with the King of England, Great Britain. All right. And when you look at the coat of arms on Great Britain, there's lions on it, man. There's lions in their coat of arms because they represent sovereignty or a monarchy, so to speak. Okay.
It says, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads.
I'm sorry. Because what does that dragon represent? That dragon represents the Roman Empire being revived. All right. Okay, that's why when NATO came together, it was called the Treaty of Rome. All right, it was called the Treaty of Rome. It represents the Roman Empire coming back into power. That's the dragon. Okay, in which what do you see going on today? You see these draconian laws happening because that's what they're doing, and that's a global thing, forcing people to be mandated to get the jab. Okay, which is eventually going to lead into the MOTB. As you know, the spirit have it, we're going to keep going further into this chapter. Go ahead.
And I saw one of his heads, as it were, wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed.
Yep. Which that represents the Roman Empire being destroyed, right, being conquered. Septimius Severus, and then the Byzantine Empire and the rule of the Dark Ages destroying the Roman Empire. Okay, then how was it healed? It was healed during the Renaissance era. All right, and now it's back into play from what? You have NATO and the EU as a conglomerate coming back. Okay.
Yep. And his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast, and they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
That's right, man. So this devil came back into power. The so-called white man came back into power. All right, especially after the droppings of the atomic bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, right? All these other nations, they got down with what was called the United Nations, okay? Because it was about who could make war with the beast, with NATO and the EU, okay? And when you see what's going on in Europe and Eastern Europe, you got more Eastern European countries joining NATO. And that's why you got this crisis going on in Eastern Europe today. A lot of countries on the Russian borderline are now a part of NATO, such as Poland, Lithuania, Estonia. All right, and where Russia is drawing the line at is Ukraine. Okay, they're drawing the line with Ukraine. Okay, and that 42 months represents what? That 350 years of Israel being in captivity. You so-called Negroes suffering slavery here in America. All right, go ahead.
Right. Quick precept, Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of the time.
That's right, man. All right, so the so-called white man has been ruling over us, man, in captivity. We've been in the so-called white man's captivity for a long period of time, all right? 400 years of hardcore slavery, okay? And the so-called white man is he's still continuing to rule over us, man, unto this very day. All right? Go ahead.
Back in Revelation 13 and verse 6. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Most High, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life.
And that's exactly what you see, man. You know, the so-called white man rose up into power, all right? He conquered our people, and he projected his image of being what? The people of the Most High. They run around claiming to be the Jews. The world recognized who they call Jesus Christ as being the so-called white man. They the ones who put that out there, who portrayed that image, okay? And had the world accept that, all right? I'm talking about you crackers, man. When there's nowhere in the scriptures that describes the Son of the Most High as being the so-called white man, but yet you publish that image worldwide, global, okay? To the point where you have people who are not even a part of modern day civilization. They know that image. They will bow down to that image, man. You know? All right? So it's the so-called white man who pushed that, man, and enslaved our people and have our people believing. When I say our people, I'm talking about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who make up 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Got you believing that the Lord, the God of the Bible and his son, is a so-called white man, when it's really the contrary. All right? Go ahead. Yep.
All right. It says, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world.
God.
If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Yep, and that's a classic scripture, man. We always bring that out, man, and it's self-explanatory. All right, the so-called white man slaughtered our people. He came over here to this side of the world and took it over by what? By force, man. By violence. All right, by murder, rape, robbery. Okay, and then he enslaved the so-called Negroes. All right. They say, oh, the so-called Jews like to act like the so-called black man has so much in common with them about being oppressed by white people. But wait a minute, man. The only thing that we got in common with them ships is what? The so-called black man had the voyage over here, riding in them ships, enslaved, and you so-called white people that call yourself Jews, you sponsored them goddamn ships, man. All right? That's the only thing that we got in common as far as them ships go, them slave ships. All right, you enslaved our people. You financed the whole transatlantic slave trade, man. All right. So in turn, you so-called Jews, you so-called white people, are gonna go into captivity. You're gonna go into slavery, man. According to the prophecy, according to justice, right? You devils like to talk about karma. That's karma. That's karma, man. All right, karma is in the scriptures. Okay, you dealt unjustly with us. Guess what, man? The Most High is going to deal with you, man. He's going to bring justice to you. Go ahead.
It says, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Yep.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And I heard another beast coming up.
Hey, I'm sorry. That's why we bearing all of this bullshit, man. You know? Every brother back here, we all on the fucking edge, man. All right, we all on the edge, just like you carnal niggas, man. Just like you niggas that are carnal, man. We ready to fucking lose it more so than you niggas, man. But it's the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua that's restraining us, man. That's holding us back from fucking getting busy on you niggas in the world, man. That's the patience, man. Not just you niggas, but the so-called white man and the China man and the goddamn East Indian and Arabs and the Africans, okay? We wanna let loose on all you motherfuckers, man. Cause we not of this world, man. And we're being oppressed by everybody in this goddamn world. The world is against us, man. Okay? You 2/3 niggas, man. You're part of this fucking world, man. You know? You niggas are fucking useless and wasteless, man. So when the Lord put that spirit on us, man, and we patiently waiting, man, we gonna do away with you niggas, man. Straight up. That's the patience, man. That's what we waiting for, man. Go ahead.
Right. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth.
Yup.
And he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him.
That beast represents America. Represents the whole Western force. NATO, the EU, but namely America. All right? Really the whole Western, all of them as a conglomerate, man. Okay? Because the lamb, what it said, the lamb with the 2 horns?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, read that part again.
It says, I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth.
Yup.
And he had 2 horns like a lamb.
Which is the revival of the Roman Empire. Right? Had 2 horns like a lamb. You know, we like to say that it represents the Republicans and the Democrats, which it does. But ultimately, every country every country that's a part of the West or affiliated with the West, which is the EU and NATO, have a right wing, a right wing, and a left wing, and it's all the same shit, right? It's the same goddamn thing. When you call it, whether in this country you call it a Democrat or a Republican, it's the same goddamn thing, but it all alludes back to what? Ancient Rome, right? With the plebeians and the patricians. So it's the same goddamn thing. And that's the 2 horns, which represents power. Who has power in this world? You can't run for fucking presidency talking about you're going to be an independent and expect to win. All right? You got to belong to one of them 2 parties, man. You got to belong to one wing, either the left wing or the right wing. And that's a global thing, man. Okay? Especially when it concerning the Western countries. Go ahead.
It says, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him.
Yeah, which is basically Rome, right? The plebeians and the patricians, which is now the Democrats and the Republicans, or the right wing and the left wing. Go ahead.
Right.
Nope. Let's speed it up.
Stop it. Yeah. It says, and causeth the earth and them that which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven.
That's how this man got everybody to try to become a conglomerate. The United Nations. Everybody joined the United Nations. Most countries joined the UN after the droppings of the 2 atomic bombs on Japan, on the Japanese cities of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. All right? All these countries all around the world kind of got in line, so to speak. Go to Africa, right? The multiple countries in Africa, either a democratic republic, right? Go to goddamn Asia. It's the same damn thing, man. You know, they got a democracy going on because this man has spread his philosophy all over the goddamn world, man. Everybody's accepting it, okay? Why? Because they don't want no smoke with America, okay?
Right. It says, on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. Yeah,
and that image is talking about what? A new world order. All of these countries, all these different governments is down with a new world order. All these world leaders, they're all down with a new world order. All right? A global community. Okay? The tearing down of borders, tearing down of countries and nationalities, and just setting up one big global community. They're all for the same cause. they're basically warring about who's going to be the one to conduct it, who's going to be the one to control it. All right, or how it's going to go down. All right, but it's all the same cause, this is not nothing new. When you read Genesis, the 10th and 11th chapter, Nimrod was the same thing going back all the way to Nimrod, man. Okay, but now the so-called white man, through deception, through his blessing of the sword, right, which is his artillery, his military artillery, okay, and deception, is basically trying to scare the world or bring this world into a new world order, and also by deception. All right, go ahead.
It says that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live.
Yeah, exactly. That image is the new world order. All right. Yeah, that image is a new world order. Okay, and Rome was trying to do the same thing, conquer as much people as they possibly can, going all the way back to Nimrod, right? The Lord called Nimrod a mighty hunter. What was he hunting? He wasn't hunting deer and antelope and shit like that. He was hunting people's souls, man. All right? And the so-called white man is doing the same thing. Doing the same goddamn thing. Go ahead.
Right. It says, verse 15,
hunting the souls of men. Go ahead.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
That's right, man. You know, this devil, he's caused as he gave life to this image, man, because this is something that was imagined all the way back, since the 1500s, man. Okay, a new world order has been or the Illuminati, right? Back with Ignatius Loyola's, they call it the Spanish Alumbrada. Okay, but the Illuminati that we're under today is the Bavarian Illuminati, which was basically set up by Ivan Watson, which was basically a global plot to take over the world. And now it's actually taking place. It's actually happening. You had all these different proxy wars that were fought and financed by the Rothschilds and the international bankers to get what? To get this, to further form the world into a global community. World War, after the outcome of World War I was the League of Nations. Then the outcome of World War II was the United Nations. So after the smoke clears from World War III, what they're trying to form is a new world order. Basically, a world without any borders. A world without borders. All right? And it's strictly for namely for the elites. They're the only ones that got the money and the power and the finances to travel here, there, and you know, they want to make this. They want to make their utopia. They want to make this world their utopia. All right. You know, and they're bringing life to it. Something that was thought up centuries ago is now actually is being brought to effect. It's being brought to life. All right, go ahead.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
That's right, man, and that's what you see. That's what's happening, man. You know, this is already going on. You got people getting chipped up, okay? All right, but everything is through steps. Everything you have to graduate towards this, right? What they call gradualism, okay? You know, you go from paper money. Back in the days, men used to have purses, right? You know, we get on these cats today for having these men purses and all of that. That was a thing back in the days, though. Men did have purses. Okay,
it was more masculine.
It was more masculine, but
carry bags.
Yeah, that's because people back in the days, men didn't deal with paper money. They had coins.
Yeah,
you know, they had gold coins, silver coins, or what have you, right? Real money, so to speak. You know, so they did carry bags with coins in it, man. You know, okay, but But what they're trying to do now is what? Make all of that your finances, put that all into your biology, man, into your biological makeup, by instituting a chip into your flesh. All right, because it went from you having to carry a purse, right, with a lot of change in it, gold coins, silver coins in it, okay, to making it lighter to what? Now you just got a receipt. That's what you get. Which a receipt eventually led to fiat currency or paper money. Because the paper money, the money that you niggas are killing each other for with George Washington on it, Abe Lincoln and Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson and them guys on it, it's fucking worthless, man. It ain't backed by shit. You know? It ain't backed by nothing, man. Okay? All right? But to eliminate all of that, it has graduated more towards what? Cards, swiping cards, debit cards, credit cards, because this is a credit-based society.
Well, you use your phone now.
Yeah, your brother said you can use your phone because it's headed more towards technology, towards the Internet of Things.
Yeah, so, Apple Pay, Google Pay.
Kind.
You just scan your phone, swipe.
That's
put
right.
Your pen, walk away.
Coded things, QR code, and this, that, and third.
Take a picture and everything just pop up. If you ordering fast food, you don't gotta wait online no more. You scan the QR code, make your order, and you're out the door.
But that's why they want to eliminate people.
Yeah.
That's why you have the Georgia Guidestone set up. You know, and you brothers ever seen iRobot? You check out the beginning of that movie, man. You'll see robots delivering packages like with the robots with say UPS on it.
Yeah.
You know, showing you, hey man, they trying to eliminate the mass population, the masses of the people, you know, and they certainly expect you to get chipped up, and the chip is not it coincides with you being a part of the Internet of Things, but also most importantly so they can identify and track you, track your every move. Yep, let the brother keep reading that because it goes more into that.
It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark.
Yeah, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. All right? So you can't get around that, man, about what the mark is talking about. There's plenty of people that already got it, man. You know, so this thing is going to be an economic transaction. Also something that could track you, right? And everything ties into that. Everything ties into that. This whole COVID pandemic and people having to get the jab, you know, it's all preluding to the mark. That's the capstone on the pyramid, man. All right? So they want you to get that jab ultimately, man. I mean the mark, which is basically similar, man. You know? It's the pre-steps to the mark. Go ahead.
It says,
yeah, because you know why? Because you got some people, some idiots out there that might think that the jab is the actual mark, right? But you can still buy things and sell shit. You know what I'm saying? Without have taken the jab. But the scriptures tell you otherwise. What the mark is really about. Go ahead.
Or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Yep.
Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man, and his number is.
Beast represents the whole system, man. All right, which is a revival of the Roman Empire, like I stated earlier, which is NATO and the EU, the Western forces. Russia is down with it as well, you know, but it's the so-called white man's system, Esau. That's why the scripture says it's the number of a man, the so-called white man, Esau. Go ahead.
It says, for his number, Slakia.
Yep.
For it is the number of a man, and his number is 600, 666.
666. Universal product code. All right. You know, everything that you scan has a UPC code on it. Now you got the QR code, right? You got the 3 dots. You got the 3 dots in the corners of the QR code, which also represents 666. Okay? All right? And that goddamn mark, that microchip, that human implantable chip, is the mark, man. That's spoken of in the book of Revelation, which the brother just read, man. It all alludes to that at the end of the day. Okay?
That was it. That was the last one.
That was it on that?
Yeah.
All right. Got Obadiah. Bring that on Obadiah real quick. I'm gonna end it on that. Yep. Obadiah 1-6, yeah. How you keep it? Obadiah.
Put up your phone. I just have it up there.
Okay. Yeah, I read it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Obadiah 1-6. 1-6 and 7. I'm gonna get on that.
This is Obadiah.
Yep. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I got it. Sorry. This is Obadiah. Start at verse 6.
Yep.
It says, "How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?"
Yeah, Esau is the so-called white man. That's the father of you devils, you crackers, all right, you Edomites, okay? How are his things searched out? So it's searched out through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, waking brothers up to understand these scriptures, okay? Because we came fresh out of slavery, man. We didn't know who the hell we were. We didn't know who the so-called white man was, right? But the spirit got on certain men to understand these scriptures and wake up, man. All right? That all came through a process of time. Okay? And all according to the will of the Most High. All right? And then now we can clearly say that, yo, you so-called white people, you're spilling the beans on yourselves, man. You know? You got a lot of whistleblowers and fucking conspiracy theorists, crackers or whatever, that's indicating more and more that you goddamn crackers are the devil, man. That we know you're the Edomites. We can clearly see that you're the Edomites, man. Go ahead.
"All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border."
Yeah, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. Right? Now the nations that are confederate with America, it's talking about the EU. The European Union, okay? And what are they doing? They're advancing more and more onto the borders of Russia, in which Russia is going to be America's demise. So all of your Confederates are bringing you closer to the border of the end of the so-called white man's society. All right? A border is a boundary that you can't pass, okay? All right? So you so-called white people, you have a set amount of time to rule that the Lord is not going to allow you to pass. Okay? So whether it be with Russia invading Ukraine and America getting involved in this war, or Israel and Iran, that beef sparking up, it's all going to happen simultaneously, man. It's all in the power and control of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. All right? But the men of your confederacy, of America's confederacy, is what? NATO. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And as long as they keep recruiting or incorporating more Eastern European nations into NATO, which is close to the Russian border, Russia's going to have a problem with that. And they're going to act, man. Okay? They're going to act on it, man. So the men of your confederacy is bringing you closer and closer to that border, which is that Russian border, which we read about that in Revelation 13th chapter, about Russia being the bear, the feet being the bear, meaning the end of white society, man. So it's going down, right? It's going down. You have a few countries that are on the Russian borderline, like Poland, Lithuania, Estonia, that are a part of NATO now. And that crisis going on with Ukraine is because what? Russia does not want Ukraine to join NATO. Because why? They're on that border, that Russian border. There's gonna wind up, a war's gonna heat up, and America's gonna be fucking destroyed, man. Go ahead.
It says, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee.
The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. All of the members of NATO don't fuck with America, man. For the most part. All right? They don't fuck with America, man. Back when you had Trump, when he was in office, and he was sitting there getting on the other members of NATO, I think France and Germany for the most part, talking about how much they don't contribute to NATO. Because America contributes what? I think it's $1.3 billion annually to military aid for NATO. But other European countries, a lot of European countries don't even contribute to half a fucking, I don't want to say $500,000 or maybe half a billion. I can't remember exactly, but Trump got on them for that, man. You know? And then the last meeting that Biden had with Putin over the crisis about Ukraine, the other countries in Europe, they was mad because they wasn't involved in the meeting. Their thing was, how the fuck is Putin and Biden gonna have a goddamn meeting about the crisis in Ukraine when Ukraine is in our backyard and we're not involved in this fucking meeting, man? You know? So you got Germany and France and certain countries, they pissed off at America, man. Despite what the mainstream media is telling you, man. That's why you have an alternative media, man. Okay? So you can get a scoop or weigh the differences according to your own logics and what makes more sense. All right? Go ahead,
It says,
Yup. So the men of that confederacy are brought into the border, yup.
Yeah, it says, and it says, I'm reading again. It says, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee.
That's right, man. So all of these guys are at peace with America. All these different countries in Western Europe are at peace with America through a formal treaty. Okay? They're at peace with America because they made a treaty with America. But they ain't cool with America. The presidents of Germany, France, Great Britain, Spain, they're not cool with the American president. They don't rock. Everybody has a certain term in the tenure, but they don't even fucking know each other like that. They don't hang out with each other, you know? Then when it comes to Russia and China, them guys, they have a longer, they basically have like a dictatorship. They have a longer presidency, you know, and they bond with each other. They hang out with each other. They chill with each other. They vacate with each other. They connect with each other, you know? That's why their union is pretty much stronger than the union that NATO has with each other, man. Because after a 4-year tenancy, what the fuck can you what can you do after that? Once the next president comes in, everything has to be rebuilt all over again. It's a new regime and a new cabinet, and you know, everything has to be reworked out and replanned. You know? So in other words, the relationship with America's allies is very brittle. It's very brittle, especially when you got whistleblowers exposing America, man. You know, which that further ruins the relationship with America's allies. And you got Eric Snowden and Julian Assange and all them guys, man. All right, go ahead.
Right. It says, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him.
There's none understanding in him. There's none understanding in them. So America done got themselves in a quagmire, man. You know, they got themselves in a predicament that they can't get out of, man. Biden can't back down with America. Putin ain't trying to back down. You know, America's got their forces all over the fucking world, and they will look super weak as far as being considered the world's superpower if they back down from all of this shit, man. And this is all set up through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, so he could destroy America, man. All right? So he could fulfill these prophecies as written in the scriptures, man. That was it on that, right? Yeah, kind. All right? So I'm going to end this on that note, man, and say Shalom Wabaraki to brothers out there, man. All right? Lord willing, we see you in the next one. Shalom.
Shalom.
Hope you've been edified. Shalom. Yep.
Shalom.